Well, I can remember quite far back. I have always had a good memory. Even though I would go into a coma when I was younger, I used to go into, it was a coma, wasn't it? For a few weeks, and when I came out of it, I would have had a reformat on my mind, and I wouldn't remember things that I'd learned before then. But now I can remember very far back for some reason. I don't know why.
No, you always have been able to, all the way through your childhood. You've had an extraordinary memory. So as you say, even though you might have been in a coma for a while, when you came out of that coma, you might have not remembered
certain things. Like I've never been able to remember people's names very well. I can after a length of time.
There we are.
But I will have a problem with remembering currently. So if I get introduced to a person, after a couple of days of being with that person, I'll remember their name, and then I'll remember it forever. But I can't remember at the time that it's given to me.
So one day visits don't do very well, because this is Jo. I'd like to introduce you. The whole day she won't know your name is Jo, even if she hears it again and again. But so short-term memory was really, really a struggle.
So I write their names down somewhere on my phone now. And then I have this little prompt so I can remember, because it can sometimes get a little bit tricky with, you need to say the person's name and you can't for the life of you remember what it is. So I have learned these tricks to support me, and I think that's been incredibly useful and helpful. I mean, my mom taught me to come up with ways to support myself in managing with difficulties and struggles like my dyslexia. A word could come out when I write it down. In one day I can have like 3 different versions or even more. Every time I go to write it could be spelled differently. So that doesn't work when you're doing, when you need a specific word for a password or coding or whatever with websites. So when we did our web training, I wrote up all the words that I needed to have, and I copy-pasted them into the program when I needed them. And our trainer thought that this was very wonderful.
You put little sticky notes, didn't you? It's like a little notepad thing on the computer that if she needed her password for going into her email account or something like that, she really would know what her password was. If her password was trees or something, she would know that it's that in her mind, but when she went to spell it, it would come out differently every time. So obviously she couldn't get
some of them you can't get it wrong more than 3 times and it completely shuts down. So I couldn't keep on trying till I got it right.
And if she went and looked at the word trees and went and typed it, she would still maybe get the letters in the wrong order. So now, as she's saying, she would take her list and she'd just copy and paste. So she doesn't have to know whether she's got the spelling right or not. She knows that that is the password for the email password trees. Copy trees, put it there, done. It's a way around the learning to
manage the problem.
Manage yourself in that area of struggle.
So, in the last couple of years, I've been doing my own little key things a lot more. My mom used to support me a lot with, she used to be my dictionary, and if I needed something, she would just spell it out to me, even though then this chance of arriving the same way on the paper wasn't always...
It's pretty slim, hey?
Yeah. But now that, well, since I was 18, I think we've started crossing over to...
Well, I would say from 16, up till 16, I helped Missy maybe start having links and references of things that would maybe help her to find an easier path, an easier way. But then from 16 to 18, I started introducing the idea that she's going to not have to rely on me to take her on that that alternate route to what she needed to get to, but she needs to know the alternate route herself, and she even furthermore needs to start discovering her own alternate route. So from 18 on, she started finding her own way, like this. I've suggested the copy-paste thing for the passwords. She now is putting, as soon as she meets somebody, she puts their name into her cell phone. Now, Jamie wouldn't even have to consider to do that. So maybe he forgot what that guy's name was when he was introduced. He'll just ask, so, oh, sorry, I forgot your name, or ask somebody, what's his name again? And then that's it. He needs to just be reminded once or twice, and he's got it. But Missy knows it's not going to happen for her like that. So she's had to find another way, and I could give her 3 or 4 different suggestions, and they may work, but what's going to work best is the one she finds for herself. And the thing is, it's more the principle that I've taught her: find a solution. Don't let the problem become insurmountable or conquer you and go, oh, I've got a problem, why can't I just forget people's names and that's it. So it was more the principle of teaching people to overcome where there's a weakness, an area that's actually not going to be supportive of you as a person, and supportive of you to be used and able to be effectively used by God. Because if you're going to know, well, I can't do that, and I can't do that, and I can't do the other, then how's God going to be able to use you to the full extent he wants to when you're saying, sorry, God, I can't. So that was the principle, is to teach her to find ways that she will overcome